Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to all of you out-of-towners. Welcome to the beautiful riding of Brampton Centre. I'm Sara Singh, your Ontario NDP candidate for Brampton Centre.
And I'm Andria Barrett, your Ontario NDP candidate for Brampton South. Sara and I will be your MCs, and we are so excited to welcome all of you today.
We'd like to take the opportunity to start things off in a good way and begin by acknowledging that today we're gathering on the traditional territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, the Haudenosaunee Confederation, the Huron-Wendat, and Wendat Nations, on lands protected by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Agreement. On behalf of everyone here today, we want to thank those nations for their care and stewardship over this shared land.
If you're joining us virtually today, please take time to recognize the traditional and treaty territory that you're on. Recognizing the land is one way we express appreciation to those whose territory we reside on, and honor Indigenous peoples who have been living on, caring for, and defending these lands for thousands of years.
Today and every day, let's renew our commitment as Ontarians and Canadians to honor the treaties. Together, we need to keep working to build strong, equitable partnerships with Indigenous peoples. Partnerships that are based on respect, cooperation, and action to make people's lives better and build stronger communities across Ontario. Thank you.
Now, before we go any further, let's hear it for the incredible musicians. Thank you so much for the fantastic performance and for getting us all so fired up.
They were so fantastic. Let's give them another round of applause, folks. Woo! Thank you so much for creating some amazing music and great vibes to help us kick off. But we're also going to hear from a couple of very powerful speakers, including the next Premier of Ontario, Andria Horwath. Right now, we're over 1,000 strong here in Brampton, with hundreds more of you joining our live stream on social media.
We are so proud and excited to be here today to celebrate and build our momentum for the most important provincial election in generations. That's right. Together in just 19 days, we're going to show Doug Ford the door and we're going to form an NDP government that's ready to fight for everyday Ontarians.
We're going to fix what matters most to people here in Brampton and across our province, like restoring and expanding healthcare, bringing mental, dental, and pharmacare into OHIP, and making life more affordable so people can find a home and build their best lives in the communities that they love.
That's right, Sarah. Which brings us to our next speaker, your NDP candidate for Brampton East, your friend and mine. Let's hear it for
Gurratan Singh.
Thank you, Sarah and Andrea, for the intro. And thank you both for all the work you've done to fight for a more livable, affordable, and equitable city and province. This election, there's a lot at stake for people. The past 2 years have been hard on everyone, especially here in Brampton. The cost of living just keeps shooting up. Even if you and your partner have a good job, with benefits, families are still paying thousands of dollars a year for the big things. Auto insurance, prescriptions and dental care, child care, hydro, and the rent or the mortgage. People need support, and they needed it for a long time. We just can't afford to wait for another 4 years. Because we've all spent the last 4 years fighting every day to push back against Doug Ford and his Conservatives as they break the things we all count on and refuse to give people, everyday people, the support they deserve, all while his buddies and insiders benefit. On all the things that matter the most to Brampton families, Doug Ford has told us, you're on your own. Every time we've proposed taking real action to give Brampton the 3 full hospitals we deserve, Doug Ford's Conservatives shot it down. They voted against fully funding Brampton Civic to end the painful waits and hallway medicine. They voted against making Peel Memorial a full hospital with a 24/7 ER and 850 new beds. And they voted against building a new 3rd hospital. Shame, shame. Of course, Doug Ford and his Conservatives are just not working for everyday people and families here in Brampton or anywhere else. But it doesn't have to be this way. Because in 19 days, we got a chance to elect a leader that is working for you. Andria Horwath is working for you. But before I get too carried away, let me introduce our next speaker. He's someone I know pretty well. We're so close, he's almost like a brother to me. His kindness, his empathy, and his courage have inspired me and helped guide me my whole life. And every day he goes to work fighting to make life better for everyday families, including holding Justin Trudeau's feet to the fire to negotiate a new national dental care plan. The biggest expansion in Canadian healthcare since New Democrats delivered Medicare to Canadians 6 years ago. Please join me in welcoming my big brother and the leader of Canada's NDP, Jagmeet Singh.
It's my brother. Give it up for Gurratan Singh. Look at all of you here. This is amazing. How are you feeling? Wow. Bienvenue, Tanvad, Mehrbani, Dhanyavad. Thank you so much for being here. You know, being here in Brampton for me is really special. This is where I started. I have such a special place in my heart for all of you. And that's why I feel like we've got some unfinished business to do. You know, here in Brampton, we saw 16 years of Liberals, 4 years of Conservatives, and has our life gotten any better? All the things that we care about actually got worse. It's harder to find a home that you can afford. It's harder to pay the bills. And auto insurance bills, have they gone down? They keep on climbing. And 16 years of Liberals, 4 years of Conservatives have only made it worse. But I got something to tell you, friends. We can do something about that. We can do something about it by electing New Democrats into government. You know, what we're seeing in this province is a government that consistently, Doug Ford consistently and pretty blatantly and obviously wants to help out his wealthy friends, and it ends up hurting you and your families, and that's wrong. You know, I can't wait till June 2nd, because we're not just going to elect all these incredible candidates as MPPs, we're going to elect them into a government that's for the people, by the people, fighting for what you need. You know, fundamentally, at the core of who we are as New Democrats, is we believe that we got to take care of each other. That we are better off, we are stronger when we lift one another up. Do you agree? And the person that's going to lead the way for us here in Ontario, the person that I always call my boss, because she was my boss for a long time, and she tells me, I'm not your boss anymore, it's okay. And I say, I know, but I still love you so much, Andrea is someone who took me in when I started and heard me out. When I told her that Brampton was struggling, she said, you know, what can we do? And I said, I got to fight auto insurance companies. She said, okay, let's do that. She backed me up every step of the way, and she backed up Brampton every step of the way. You know, I wouldn't be here today. Honestly, I wouldn't be here today as the national leader of the New Democratic Party if it wasn't for Andrea. She is someone who cares deeply about people. Every step of the way, whenever there's a question, she always puts people first. You know, I trust her. As Premier of this province, she will make sure you and your families get the help you need. I trust her so much. I know she'll do it. And I also want to let you know, people call Andrea the Steel Town Scrapper, and that comes from a deep place of love. She cares about people. She's got so much compassion, and she feels the pain that people are going through. I'm so excited that we can elect Andrea as our Premier, we can form a new Democrat government, and we can really get to work on the things that matter for all of you. So I need you to get hype. I want to hear this side of the room make some noise over here. All right, over on this side over here. Not bad. Okay, I need you to put your hands together, yell as loud as you can for the next Premier of Ontario, Andria Horwath.
Well, I'd say it's a little energetic in this room, wouldn't you? Hello, my friends. Bonjour, chers amis. I want to say thank you so much to the wonderful folks that you've just heard from, Andria Barrett, Sara Singh, Gurratan Singh, for getting us started today. And I also want to say thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your leadership on our team and for all that you do each and every day to stand up for the people of Brampton. Thank you so much. And of course, Jagmeet, my friend. I was almost in a little bit of teary-eyed shape when I heard Jagmeet's words this afternoon, because he's right. 11 years ago, we worked together to build an orange wave here in the Peel region. And it all started with you. It all started with you. You helped people feel seen. You helped people feel heard in a way that they never had been before. You proved that hard work and a real commitment to helping people can do great things. And it feels so right, Jagmeet, that you're here now, when we turn all of Brampton, all of Peel, orange. When Gurratan asks you to come knock on some doors, who doesn't say yes? Who doesn't say yes? I love this city. Brampton's a great place to live because of the amazing people who call it home. Folks here are kind, welcoming, and generous. It's no wonder Brampton is such a popular place to live. People see a great community where you can build a really good life. The promise of Brampton is the promise of communities across Ontario. Imagine what's possible. Stronger communities where every family has an affordable home that's right for them. Parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles can age at home, surrounded by family and loved ones, happy and healthy. Children getting a great public education in well-maintained schools. With more one-on-one time and help when they need it. Young people able to get a top-notch education at a world-class university right here in Brampton. A brighter future for the next generation with more opportunity, less debt, and a healthier planet. Thriving local small businesses, jobs that pay the bills, auto insurance rates that are 40% cheaper, and that don't discriminate based on your postal code, and a booming local economy that helps everyday folks prosper. Families walking to the masjid or the gurdwara or the synagogue without fear, without anxiety, knowing that they're safe and they're valued. Three fully funded hospitals. With 3 full emergency rooms and a world-leading cancer center right here in Brampton. Great healthcare finally, that's there when you need it, with shorter wait times. That's what you deserve. And the peace of mind that comes with knowing that your dad, for example, can afford his prescription. Your daughter can get that cavity filled, and your brother can get the mental health supports he needs without worrying about how much it all costs. My friends, I know we can get these things done and fix what matters most. I know we can get everyday families back on solid ground. But to get there, we have to do it together. We have to do it together. This election is our chance to finally fix what matters most. Health care, seniors care, the housing crisis and the soaring cost of living. We can fix what's been broken for so long, but to do it, we have to defeat Doug Ford's Conservatives. That's what we have to do. And I know that some folks have voted Liberal in the past to keep the Conservatives out. This time things are different. This time the NDP is as few as 10 seats away from forming a government that will send Doug Ford and his Conservatives packing. So I'll be blunt. To beat Doug Ford now, to stop the cuts before he does any more damage, I'm asking people to come together behind the team that is strong, ready, and working for you. When we all vote NDP this time, we can stop more Conservative cuts and fix what matters most. You know what, in just 3 short weeks, we're going to roll up our sleeves and get to work making people's lives better. And so I want to share with you right now a few ways that we're going to be able to do that. For decades, folks receiving ODSP and OW have been neglected and disrespected. Living in ongoing crisis well below the poverty line. We'll change that and permanently lift every ODSP and OW recipient out of poverty. Out of poverty. We'll immediately increase rates 20% and work urgently with people with lived experience to create a new system built on justice, built on equity, and built on economic security. In the second year, we'll double the rates. We'll make sure the rates are doubled in the second year, and then we're going to index them. So no Ontarian will ever live in legislated poverty again. It is long overdue. It is long overdue, and together we'll make it happen. We all know that people in Ontario experienced a lot of grief, so much grief and so much loss because of the pandemic. People lost jobs, lost businesses, lost family members. Some little ones are struggling with personality changes and the anxiety that they have since school shutdowns happened. And it's no wonder that 1 in 4 Ontarians reached out for mental health or addictions help during COVID. But far too many folks who needed help didn't get it. You wait for months on end. You wait for months on end, and when you finally get to the front of the line, out-of-pocket costs put mental health care out of reach. Mental health care saves lives, and no one should ever have to struggle. No one should ever have to struggle with their mental health alone because they can't find the help or because they can't afford the help. And no parent should ever have to live in fear and dread as their child sits on a painfully long wait list waiting for help. That's why our universal mental health care plan makes sure that everyone gets the mental health care that they need. And our plan will save you $200 a session. That adds up to big savings for families really fast, because you'll finally be able to get your mental health care with your OHIP card, not your credit card. A couple of weeks ago, absolutely, autism is high on our list, my friend, and you know that. A couple of weeks ago in Scarborough, I met an incredible young woman. Her name is Annie. And Annie's voting for the very first time this year. She's really excited about it. But as a child, Annie had a lot of pain and needed dental surgery. But the procedure was extremely expensive, and her parents just couldn't afford it. A lot of folks have stories just like Annie's. Over 50% of Ontarians have little or no dental coverage. And so what do? They're either going without the care that they need until they land in the ER, or they're paying thousands of dollars out of pocket for basic dental. Now, thankfully in Annie's case, her story has a happy ending. She got lucky. Her dentist helped her family with the costs. But not everyone gets that lucky. And frankly, the health care you need shouldn't be about luck. We are going to make sure people are covered with our Ontario dental plan. And together we'll provide dental coverage for every low and middle income family in Ontario. The average family is going to save over $1,200 each and every year. And if you have kids that need braces, you're going to be saving over $13,000. Now, isn't that something to smile about? Here's another thing we can fix. Staying well often means taking the medicine that you're prescribed. But far too many Ontarians just can't afford their prescription drugs. The average family with insurance spends over $1,000 a year on prescription drugs and healthcare premiums. For seniors or folks managing an ongoing illness, it's a lot more expensive than that. And for 1.5 million Ontarians with no prescription drug coverage at all, it's even more. So what happens? People go without. Seniors stretch their prescriptions, they skip a day, they cut their pills in half because they can't afford their medicine. Together we can fix it, and we can fix it now, not years from now. We'll start providing prescription drug coverage to Ontarians right away, starting on day one, with take-home cancer drugs and contraception, and building to have you fully covered in our first term. Together we can save people money and make sure that no Ontarian will ever again go without their prescription drugs. We can do it. We can do it, my friends. We can fix what matters most to people, starting in just 19 days. We know who we're fighting for. We're fighting for people, not Liberal Party insiders, not Doug Ford's buddies. Every day we're working for you, for working and middle-class families, our houseless neighbors, folks living in poverty, scraping by on ODSP. We're in it for everyone who's faced an anti-black racism situation, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or race-based hate of any kind, and saw their government abandon them. We're in it for women, still fighting for pay equity and a better world for our daughters and granddaughters. We're in it for the 2S LGBTQIA+ community, fighting for a government and services that support and affirm them. We are standing with the Indigenous peoples of this land, with everyone, every community whose little ones never returned home from residential schools, with the families of missing and murdered women, girls, and non-binary folks, and with every Indigenous family still fighting for clean water, proper health care, and decent housing. We're fighting for all our children and all of their children, for the 7 generations to come. We're fighting for a healthy planet, free from the devastation of the climate crisis. For clean air, clean water, and farmland that feeds us all. We're fighting to give our kids a future, and I know that we're ready. Mettons-nous au travail, transformons l'Ontario. You are all working so hard, mobilizing your friends and your colleagues, sharing our vision and our plan for a better province, making calls, organizing in our communities, and knocking on doors to remind folks what's at stake. And I want to thank you for all of your incredible work. We are so ready to replace cuts with hope. So ready. And we can make sure everyday people win this election. Everyday people win this election. So let's get out there. Let's bring Ontarians together. And in just 19 short days, we'll fix what matters most to people, once and for all. Thank you all so much. Merci beaucoup. Miigwech. Niawe.